Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to The Road Travel, a travel podcast brought to you by Melissa Barkalow from abetterview Travel and myself, Judy A. Adams with World Travel Service. We are very excited today to have with us Stacy from Rocky Mountaineer. She's the business development manager, and she's going to give us an overview today of the Rocky Mountaineer trip itself. And we'll be focusing on a domestic route, given the current pandemic situation that we're in. And we are looking forward to having Stacy back to talk about some of their beautiful Canadian routes as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Stacy. And throughout the presentation, Stacy, Melissa, and I may interject with some questions if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Go ahead.
Well, great. Well, thanks, everybody. I always like to say for welcoming into your homes to learn more about Rocky Mountaineer and just these unique and luxury vacations that we provide, not only throughout the Canadian Rockies, but now here in the Southwest as well. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering right now, well, what exactly does Rocky Mountaineer do? And hopefully you can tell by the picture that we provide these amazing rail vacations traveling through the Rockies. Now that's both in Western Canada and here in the US. And you're now probably wondering, well, do I sleep on the train? And the answer is no. And there's really two reasons for this. First of all, we want to ensure that you sleep in a comfortable bed at night. And that's really, really important. But we also don't want you to miss out on any of the stunning scenery along the way. And many of these sites are not accessible by road. So it really does give you this unique access to not only those majestic snow-capped mountains, but also some stunning waterfalls, beautiful rivers, rugged canyons, and these really unique desert rock formations along the way. Now, last year, we were supposed to celebrate our 30th anniversary. And however, as you kind of expected, we didn't really be able to celebrate the way that we had wanted. You know, back in 1990, we launched with daylight only rail vacations throughout the Canadian Rockies, with routes traveling from Vancouver, which is our headquarters, to those quaint mountain towns like Jasper, Banff, and Lake Louise. And we've always had our sights on expanding our unique luxury rail vacations. And I have to say, the one positive thing that came out of COVID, because I do, and I strongly believe that we all need a silver lining in everything, is that it helped us to gain speed to launch our newest route here in the US, which is going to be my focus for today's podcast. So I'm really proud to be announcing our newest rail route, Rockies to the Red Rocks. Now, this is going to take you from Denver, Colorado to Moab, Utah over 2 truly unforgettable days, featuring the awe-inspiring sights of the Colorado Rockies and those remarkable desert rock formations of Moab. For our inaugural season, now this is this year, we will be operating from mid-August through the end of October. So it's 40 departures. This is spread over 10 weeks. It is a preview sale, so we only have limited capacity, but seats are on sale now.
Stacy, 2 quick questions for you.
Yeah.
Can people go in the reverse direction from Moab to Denver?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. So the train just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Great. And then can people book now? Have these
Absolutely.
dates have been released?
Yep, all dates are released. We actually launched in December. So people are definitely, and we are starting to sell out on certain dates. I think everybody is ready to start traveling. I think everyone's done with their house projects. And being that we're here in the US, yes. So I think that everyone's has the itch and ready to get out there.
I would agree with that. I'm totally done with everything in my house.
Yeah, I'm just starting because I moved. So, but I'm ready to get on board the train. That is for sure. So I want to say, welcome aboard. So I'm going to kind of talk like in a filter. So I'm going to talk about the train itself and just the stellar service that you're going to receive. And I'm then going to narrow it down and talk about the route and the breathtaking sights that you're going to see along the way. I'm then going to talk about sightseeing activities that we include once you're off the train and in the Southwest. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Rocky Mountaineer is that we're not only giving you this trip of a lifetime traveling on our luxury trains, but we also include these memorable activities once you're off the train as well. So I'm going to start by talking about the train itself, which I lovingly call Rocky. Now you're going to be traveling in our Silverleaf rail cars, and they have these huge wide windows. So you have the unobstructed views of the amazing scenery. And once you're on board, you're going to be greeted by some really happy, fabulous people, and they're your host. And they wear a couple of different hats. So first of all, they're there to make sure that you're having the most amazing vacation possible, but they're also there providing commentary and storytelling. So our trains travel fairly slow, around 30 miles an hour, which really gives you ample opportunity to take in those magnificent Colorado Rockies, breathtaking canyons, and wildlife as well.
Stacy, I do agree. Having taken the Rocky Mountaineer in Canada, all the wonderful stories the hosts give, as well as they were telling us when to look out the window and look at wildlife, which I greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it is amazing. They are excellent animal scouts. And what's interesting is that all the hosts will talk to each other amongst the different rail cars. So when there is, let's say, like a bear sighting, they're getting a heads up that, hey, we see this family of bears. What's really interesting is that as soon as you see, and they're like, okay, there's a family of bears coming up, everybody goes up and goes over to, let's say, like the right or the left. It's very much of a social environment. We really do encourage all of our guests to get up, walk around. We do not expect people to be sitting at their seats the entire time. And Melissa, you and I were definitely one of those people who are not sitting at our seats the entire time.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, really everyone's job is, as soon as they get on board, it's really, really simple. It is just to sit back in those large reclining seats, gazing out those huge wide windows, walking around, really just take it all in and just soak up some of that incredible scenery with our host really attending to your every need. Now, all meals and drinks are included when you're traveling with us on the train. Our food is absolutely phenomenal. All of it is locally sourced. All of it is prepared fresh, and it is going to have like a Western flair to it. But if you have any dietary restrictions, this is where you need to contact either Melissa or Judy. So drinks are also included as well, and that's both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And this is what I say. You're on vacation. It's okay if you want to indulge just a little bit. Now, meals are going to be plated to your preference and delivered to you at your seat. So this really does further enhance that relaxing atmosphere. So there's a big tray that comes down. They put down the tablecloth, the silverware, and as hopefully you can see from the picture, lots of space from even when that tray comes down. So we really did make sure that everybody has plenty of room, whether the tray is up or down there at your seat.
Stacy, 2 quick questions. Drinks, is it only during meals, or are drinks available at all times while on the train?
Great question. They are available throughout the entire time.
Great.
So
And
they
then,
will be, yep. So let's say if you're having one of my favorites, a Caesar, which is like a Bloody Mary, and you like to get topped off, you could just ask one of the hosts to do so. But I don't think service is probably not going to start until about 11 o'clock in the morning.
great. And I do have to say there is a lot of space in those seats, because I had my big backpack at my feet and I still have plenty of leg room.
Yeah, me too. And so the bags, because both Melissa and I have our large backpacks because we both enjoy photography. So mine's a really big one as well, and it slides perfectly under the seat ahead of me. So I had absolutely plenty of space to even kind of stand and walk around at my seat. Now for our Rockies to the Red Rocks route, we do, and you can further enhance your onboard experience. And this is with our Silverleaf Plus service. So this is going to include all the benefits of the exceptional Silverleaf service. So you're going to have your seat in the Silverleaf car, but Silverleaf Plus gives you access to our lounge car. So this is going to feature signature cocktails and an elevated dining experience with an additional course during select meals. It also has an additional restroom. And all of our Silverleaf cars, there is space to get outside and take in fresh air, but it's in the vestibule. So it's going to be in the space in between the cars. And so the lounge car has its own vestibule as well. But there is a thing to note that there's only a limited number of Silverleaf Plus spaces available. So the lounge car can only hold 30 guests at a time. And for our preview sale, there's only going to be one lounge car per departure assigned to that Silverleaf Plus. So if you are interested, I would definitely recommend you reserving your space now. I believe the last that I heard, it's about an 85% capacity. So I would definitely say put that deposit down sooner rather than later. The cost for our Silverleaf Plus is an additional $395 a person, but it does give you access to the lounge car over the 2 days. Again, you're not sleeping on the train, as Rocky Mountaineer travels only during the daylight hours. So you really don't miss out on any of that inspiring scenery. And we're really proud to be introducing some carefully curated, some of these that are new hotels in Denver, Glenwood Springs, Colorado, Moab, Utah, and towns near the many national parks in Utah.
May I interrupt you and just ask a quick question regarding the hotels themselves?
Yeah.
Are you eating your dinner on the train or just your lunch on the train, or are you eating your dinners at the hotel?
It depends on which way you're traveling.
Okay.
So let me talk more about the route. And that's a really good question. So if you're starting in Denver and you're going westbound, the train is going to leave at 9 o'clock in the morning. Because we're leaving a little bit later, we're going to have a light snack on the train because we're assuming some people are going to probably have breakfast in the morning. So we'll have a light snack, and then we're going to have lunch on the train, which is a 3-course meal, arriving into Glenwood Springs around 5 o'clock in the evening. So that, and we do have gourmet snacks being served throughout the day. Now that's an 8-hour leg right there from Denver to Glenwood Springs. Leaving Glenwood Springs, it leaves at 7 o'clock in the morning. I know it's early, but we will then be serving breakfast on the train. Then we're going to have like a light snack because everyone's arriving into Moab at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason why we have everybody leave so early in Glenwood Springs at 7 a.m. is we want to make sure that people have plenty of time to enjoy Moab, because Moab is home to several national parks. If you're going to take the route eastbound, the train leaves Moab at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. At that point, we'll be serving a light snack, but then dinner on the train, arriving into Glenwood Springs at 7 o'clock in the evening. The next morning, Glenwood Springs, leaving Glenwood Springs at 9 a.m. So it's a little bit later. And then on the train, serving a light snack, lunch, and then arriving into Denver at 5 p.m. So it really kind of depends on which way you're taking the train, either eastbound or westbound. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then some of our vacation packages, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We do include some meals as part of those vacation packages off the train. So now I'm going to talk, now I know I just kind of talked about timing. And again, to Melissa's point, when she asked the question in the beginning of the podcast, you can take the train both eastbound and westbound, but I'm going to kind of talk about it as if we're going westbound. And so starting off in, Denver, you're going to be traveling along just these amazing, beautiful mountain passes in these dramatic canyons of Colorado. You're going to be overnighting in that Glenwood Springs resort. The following day, though, it's really interesting because as soon as you leave Colorado and you enter into Utah, the scenery is going to change dramatically because now you're going to be passing through some remote and sparsely populated landscapes. And a lot of these are not accessible by car. So it really makes these remarkable views from the train quite exclusive. In addition to all of this, what I love is about 60% of the entire time, you're going to be traveling along the Colorado River. So when you're ready for that train trip of a lifetime, again, if we're going westbound, the train is going to depart Denver at 9 a.m. We do not include transportation in Denver from the hotel to the train station because all of our hotels are within a 2 to 5 minute walk of the train station. And do not worry about having to schlep your bags around because with all of our routes, and that's both here in the US and in Canada, we take care of the transportation of your luggage. Hopefully you can see on the map, you are going to enjoy just some amazing sights right from your seat on the train. So a couple of highlights I want to point out. First of all is Big Ten Curve. Now this was built back in the early 1900s and is really coined as an engineering marvel. And the reason why they built it is to help the trains slowly gain that elevation before reaching the Continental Divide. And the name comes from the 10-degree curvature of the rail line, and you will be riding on Big Ten Curve, which I think is really cool. And along the route, there are many striking canyons, and this is what really offers that rugged scenery of the steep rock walls. Many of these are inaccessible by road, and it's the canyons that offer these opportunities to view the wildlife. And it's animals like bighorn sheep, mountain lions, there's beautiful big black bears, coyotes, and at times, the elusive whitewater rafter. And I have Gore Canyon highlighted here. So Gore Canyon, it's about 3 miles long. So it's not very long, but it's only accessible by Rocky Mountaineer. So you cannot see the beautiful Gore Canyon on its own. But the Colorado River below, this is considered a Class 5 rapid. So this is like hardcore for those whitewater rafters. So more than likely, as you're traveling around on Gore Canyon, you're going to probably see some of those hardcore whitewater rafters. So you're going to arrive into Glenwood Springs at 5 p.m. And again, this is taking the train westbound. And Glenwood Springs is a resort town in Colorado. It's known for its hot springs. They are open until 10 p.m. So it doesn't matter whether you're taking the train eastbound or westbound, you still can take a dip in those hot springs. But also, for those of you that are into photography, get your cameras ready because absolutely gorgeous pictures can be taken, especially with that mountain backdrop, and they are absolutely stunning.
Looks gorgeous.
It's, it's just an overnight as part of the route, but it really is just a beautiful town. But the next morning, you can either walk to the train station or you could take a shuttle. All of our hotels that we use in Glenwood Springs are within a 5-minute walk of the train station. As I mentioned before, the train's going to leave early. It's going to leave around 7 o'clock in the morning. But the first thing, I promise, as soon as you get on the train, they're going to make sure that you have coffee or tea in your hands. I'm a coffee drinker, so I know that's really, really important. And then soon afterwards, breakfast is going to be served. So your estimated time to arrive into Moab is going to be around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, which again, it gives you plenty of time to explore the downtown area and those amazing national parks. But along this route on day 2, that scenery really continues. And again, it's going to change quite significantly.
Wow.
So LaSalle Mountains, so Mount Peel, which is pictured here, it is the highest point of the LaSalle Mountains. It sits at about 13,000 feet. And because it sits so high, more than likely you're going to be seeing snow on top of the mountains. And for me, I find the Rockies, whether they're here in the US or in Canada, when there's snow on the mountains, I find them just that much more magical. And this is a great photo opportunity right there from your seat, because as you can see, you not only have those stunning snow-capped mountains in the background, but then you have those really unique rock formations in the foreground. Now, all along the route, you're going to be following along the Book Cliffs. Now, this expands about 250 miles, and that's across both Colorado and Utah. And it's the longest continuous escarpment in the entire world. And it gets its name for the unusual formation of the mountain range. So when you're looking at this picture, doesn't it kind of look like there's books stacked in a shelf?
Yeah, that's unbelievably beautiful. I've never seen that before.
And by the way, this is what you're going to be seeing pretty much the entire way. It's absolutely stunning on that day too. And the mountain here is Mount Garfield. So this is the tallest mountain peak of the Book Cliffs. You're going to see this probably soon after you depart Glenwood Springs. It's absolutely beautiful. You'll be able to see it from the train, and it was named after our former president, James Garfield. You're going to arrive into Moab again around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're going to provide a short shuttle ride. It's about 20 minutes from the train station to your hotel, which is in downtown Moab. And along the way, as you're making that transfer, you're going to be seeing the Arches National Park in the background. So that's going to be kind of like your first view of the beautiful park.
Stacy, quick question. So you say you take care of the luggage. The luggage shows up in everyone's hotel rooms, correct?
Yes. So great question. Yep. Your luggage does not travel with you on the train. So I would say the only thing you need to bring on the train is your camera. Bring maybe some binoculars if you want. Don't bring any food, because we're feeding you the entire time on the train. Your luggage, we're going to ask you to leave your luggage at the hotel. We pick it up. It goes on a truck. The truck goes ahead of the train. So when you arrive into Glenwood Springs, you're going to make either that short walk, or we can transfer you to your hotel, and your luggage is going to be waiting for you in the room. Then when you depart Glenwood Springs, we're going to ask you to do the same thing. Leave your bags at the hotel. We pick it up. It goes ahead of the train. It'll be waiting for you at your hotel in Moab.
Which sounds wonderful, not having to schlep my big bag around.
No, it's wonderful. And then when you do depending on how you do your sightseeing activities, we'll be managing your luggage as well, which is actually a great entry into talking about our packages. Again, what I love about Rocky Mountaineer is you're not only having that unique experience on the train, but we really have included some amazing sightseeing activities once you're off the train as well. And we partnered with some fantastic local tour operators. And I really do encourage everyone to not only experience the Southwest, and I definitely believe you have to do it on Rocky Mountaineer. I know some people are like, oh, I've been out there before. But again, when you're traveling on the train, you're going to be seeing terrain. You're going to be seeing things that are not accessible by car. But I do actually want everybody to explore some of our amazing national parks that are here in the US as well. And with our sightseeing packages and our tours, you can do it actually from two different places. So you can do your sightseeing to and from Salt Lake City or Las Vegas. And there's two different ways in which you can explore. So first is by motor coach. And now this is also similar to how we operate in Canada. And this is where you have a driver and a guide, and they're giving you all the sites and then providing the commentary. And some of the sites that we include are visiting all or some of the Mighty 5 national parks. Or, sorry, there's an ambulance coming through. Or you could take a visit to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And what I love about that is, 95% of the people who visit the Grand Canyon only visit the South Rim, but we actually stop off at the North Rim. So it really does give you more exclusive views to the gorgeous canyon. And then we also have some packages that included overnight stay at Lake Powell. Some of the sightseeing activities that we include a boat ride down the Colorado River or a 4-wheel drive through Monument Valley. So for this year, for 2021, we have 12 vacation packages to choose from, and prices start from around $2,900 per person.
Great. I know I am signing up for one of these trips in September, so I can't wait.
I am ready to hop on board. I told them, if you need somebody to test on, I'm more than willing to be the guinea pig. I haven't heard anything on that yet. Now, you also can explore this area independently with our self-drive packages. Now, this is where either Judy or Melissa will book the hotel and the rental car for you in advance. And for our self-drive packages in the US, it's going to be an SUV. But then you now can discover the beauty of the Southwest on your own. What we do include in our self-drive packages here is we include the national and state park passes. Plus, we're going to give you an app in advance that you can download on your smartphone. And this is going to provide you with maps, directions, and attractions nearby. And the price point starts at around $2,500 a person for our self-drive. So
I love
it's really
that.
nice, that we give you options. So you can either do the guided vacations or you can explore independently. So now you can reserve your seat with peace of mind. And I really just want to blow this picture up. To me, I just think it gives me a sense of serenity. I just love this whole area. And I'm so excited that we now have a route that's here in the US. And what we've done is we really have kind of enhanced our terms for booking. So right now, seats are on sale. We do require a 20% deposit. However, it is fully refundable for 60 days. And at the point that it becomes non-refundable, you will receive 2 free date changes. So you can actually rebook either into the 2022 or the 2023 season. And we also give you 1 free name change. And what I mean by that is, let's say that there are 4 of you traveling together and now one person isn't able to make it. You then can kind of swap that person out for somebody else 30 days in advance prior to departure. And we'll do that at no penalty.
I just want to mention really quickly and interrupt you. I don't think our listeners and customers in general understand how nice of an option that is. I mean, I have not heard of tour companies that are willing to do the name change. And I think this just gives our clients a greater degree of flexibility and more comfortable in knowing that if someone in their group can't go, they can put someone else in.
Exactly. And that was a big thing for us as well. I think all of this, I'm sure a lot of other operators, tour operators, cruise operators, everyone is trying to be a little bit more flexible with their terms in light of the situation. Again, it's really exciting for me that we now have a product here in the US. Originally, we were supposed to launch this in 2023. But in light of COVID, it really was all hands on deck to get this available now. So, it is a shortened season for this year. Again, it's from mid-August through October. But for 2022, we will be operating from April through October.
Do you know yet if you, and I know this is putting you on the spot, and I'm sorry, I didn't ask you this in advance, but do you think that Rocky Mountaineer, along with other tour operators, will be requiring proof of vaccination in some form?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
Okay.
So
I know that could change. Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Right now, We are not requiring it. We will be checking everyone's temperature. So this is the last that I heard. And we're constantly updating our website. So we have a section on there about safety procedures. We're updating it. That's really to get the most up-to-date information, or obviously reaching out to the two of you, because you'll be made aware of all of the changes. Right now, it's just checking temperature. And we do have now our process is to get everything signed up online. So before we would have it in person, but in light of the situation, we are now checking people on board online. And so there's some questions that you have to answer
Well,
about.
To your point, sorry. I think to your point too, it's probably a little early to ask that question, but I know you guys are doing the right stuff in terms of safety protocols. And I think we'll just see how things go in terms of what other tour operators do too. Because it's only February and you start in August, correct?
That is correct. I was going to say the exact same thing. We're not
So I
operating
think, thank you. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Well, Stacy, thank you so much for joining us today and letting us know about this wonderful new route that Rocky Mountaineer is offering in the United States. I personally can't wait. I am going to sign up for a route in September.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I mean, everybody, to your point earlier, has the itch to travel. And I don't know. I mean, as I get a little bit older, and I guess I'll call it more mature, I appreciate these types of travel where everything is taken care of in terms of the luggage, the dining, the hotels. I just appreciate the fact that I can just go and enjoy myself and not have to worry about all of these little details.
Agreed. And I know that, some people have been out to the national parks, but some, may have just visited Bryce and Zion. They haven't visited the Arches or the Canyonlands, or, nobody obviously has been able to experience traveling on Rocky Mountaineer through the Southwest. So even if you have visited maybe some of the national parks, maybe not all of the Mighty Five, this is a great opportunity for you to go back and visit some of those lesser known type of national parks. But what I also like is that we also have that option to go up to Salt Lake City. So it's just another, Capitol Reef National Park. It is part of the Mighty Five, definitely one of the more lesser visited national parks, also quite stunning. So I love it that we've included, all of these national parks, but that you also are now able to kind of see some of these lesser known areas and be able to experience just the world-class service that we have on Rocky Mountaineer.
Absolutely. So, Melissa, I think we have what we need, and we're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to have you back. So we do appreciate this information. And then as things return to quote unquote normal, we'll talk about the Canadian routes, which are also amazing. If you are interested in booking the Rocky Mountaineer for this year or in the future, or you just like to talk about it and learn and see if it's for you, please reach out to myself, Judy Adams, or Melissa Barkalow. And this will be up on our social media pages, so our contact information is there. We really hope you consider Rocky Mountaineer. It is a very, very unique trip. I can't think of anything else out there that's like this. So I think it's kind of one of those things that if you want to experience nature in this way, you have to do it through Rocky Mountaineer.
Well, thank you,
Stacy.
for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.